Welcome to the Superconscious Success Podcast, where Jen and her Superconscious Success family co-hosts bring you valuable content each and every week on topics relating to manifestation, spirituality, and most of all, using your superconscious to manifest success in all areas of your life. Now on to today's episode.
Hey there, Super Conscious Success family. Welcome to your spiritual shift segment of the Super Conscious Success Podcast. Now, in this segment, myself and my amazing co-host, Jennifer Matthews, virtually traverse the world as we seek out some of the world's greatest metaphysical and spiritual teachers, ascended masters, authors, and channels to help you make that spiritual shift to the next level of ascension and enlightenment. And make sure to click that subscribe button below so that you never miss a single one of our shows. Now let's head off to Australia and check in with Jennifer Matthews.
Hey there, thanks so much for that, Karl, and I am so excited to be having this interview today. So welcome to another incredible interview that we bring to you all the way from Sussex in England. Now, today's interview is with not only our incredible trance medium, Linda Green, but also hopefully with some of her spirit team workers. Now, I've always believed that we have a spirit team working for our benefit, and I often enlist my own spirit team to help me on many occasions. But I have to say that Linda has an amazing spirit team in her corner. Whether we're talking about Nick, who is a real conversationalist with an incredible sense of humor and a willingness to banter, often helping you forget about the physical pain that you're in and who's great at helping you to balance your mind, your body and spirit, or whether it's Agnes, who connects with everyone, enduring peace and tranquility. Now, if you're a youth, then maybe Billy's the one that you want to connect with, or maybe Angelica, who is a soul of great belief. Now, these are just a few of the spirit companions that Linda has on her team. Now, I am so excited to talk to her in much greater detail about her story, as I know that Karl is, and these companions, and see if they make their appearance. But whatever happens, I know that you're going to love this interview. Linda's gifts as a natural trance medium developed over a period of time since childhood. She had many experiences of spirit presence, but when she lost her father suddenly in 1985, this opened up her whole psyche. These gifts have allowed her to be linked with spirit as she has evolved into adulthood. Now, Linda has been doing this work since 1987 and is a member of the NFSH, the National Federation of Spiritual Healers, a life member of Afterlife Connect, and the Foundation of Spiritual Healing and Guidance. Now it's time to move on to chat with Linda. Hey, Linda, how are you doing today?
Hello, Jen. I'm doing very well, thank you. Hope you are too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And thank you for your spirit team for being here with us as well. So we're looking forward to hearing a little bit from you. And so can you start off just telling us your story and how you came to be doing what you're doing right now?
Right, how am I doing right now? Well, I think as a child, I've always been aware of something that I was here to do. And as the years progressed, I became more sort of linked with everything, that I knew I was safe and I was looked after. And I began to sort of feel and see things on another level. And it all progressed really as the years went on. And once my father passed away, as you've quite rightly said, that really opened the door to the shock from it. Actually just opened up my whole psyche. From there on, I met the right people. I was led and guided to the right people to become the network that I needed to with my team of spirit workers to grow. So I was in a circle, physical circle it was, for 8 years to build up the network. I was told that I was a natural trance medium and healer and didn't know it yet, to sit back and let them build the network, which I did. So thereon, it just built up and grew, and they started to work with me, my team, by dealing with my physical in all sorts of different ways. I'd take all day to tell you all about that, really. But they they used to like stretch all my facial organs and my bodily functions, and they came in on that level to start with. Then they grew on other levels and became sort of more vocal And then it suddenly became more than that. And then they introduced me to a lot more of the energies and the evidence of life after so-called death. And we joined up, and I then realized I was working in the universe as well as on the earth with it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Why did it take the loss of your father for your psyche to open up? I mean, it's kind of a catastrophe or catharsis or something. Why that way?
Well, I think it opened me up totally. It was the shock of it, Karl, because I was very close to my dad. He passed just by an aneurysm in the aorta and right in front of my mother. And the shock of it was horrendous for her. I turned up at the house. I knew I had to go there and stop what I was doing outside. And I saw him on the floor there. So the shock of it all opened up my whole psyche. And I kept saying to my mom that I know that Dad's gone for another reason. I don't know what it is. And I kept feeling this strongly. And I do feel and believe that when a loved one leaves the earth plane, it opens the door for others to come out in a different way to grow. Yes, Jen, you know that. So that's what happened, really.
Wow.
On that level.
Incredible.
And I've been very blessed, very blessed.
And so have you, through your psychic connections, have you been able to connect with your dad on that sort of like spiritual realm as well?
Yes, I have. Yes, he works. He's one of the team.
Oh, fantastic.
Hello, matey. Hello, my name's Nicholas. Hello. Hello,
Hello.
lovely. Can I have a word? Hello there. How are you doing?
Great. How are you, Nicholas?
Well, we're all right. It's all the other buggers, isn't it, love? Hey? Yes. So you see, have you been assessing situations of late then that's made you feel as though you're ready to commit yourself now, Karl, to a different frequency? Because I feel as if you have done. Yeah.
Is there something that's happened, Karl?
What's that? What, Jen?
What did you say, Nicholas?
I said that I feel that Karl's actually begun to see things on a different level.
Yeah.
And he's looking out at things and wanting to really commit to a higher plane of thought. And I believe that by the end of next month, he will do so. And it's going to really open him up to a different frequency, because he's a real card, ain't he?
He most definitely is, Nicholas. Absolutely.
Yeah. So are you. So are you, love. You're always on a high beat. You're always on a high frequency, aren't you?
Oh, yes,
You've
I
always
am.
You've always dealt with a lot of pain that's helped you through your existence, and you've also brought yourself into a different category of late, I feel, with a lot of things, and you notice a change in what you're doing.
I absolutely do. I absolutely do. There's been a lot of changes going on, Nicholas, that has really opened me up. But I like to stay on that high vibrational frequency even still.
Well, you haven't got far to go before you move into a different extremity, as we call it, in September. You're going to go into a different extremity, and you're going to evolve into a different sort of part of yourself that makes you understand a lot more about who you are.
Yeah, that's my aim at the moment, Nicholas, is just to really figure out that truth that we're all put here on earth to figure out. So I believe I'm well on my way, and Karl is most definitely on his way to ascension as well.
Hello, dear. It's Agnes. Good afternoon, my dear.
Hello,
it's Agnes. Oh, good afternoon. How are you all then? This is jolly nice, isn't it?
Oh, it is a beautiful conversation.
It's splendid, splendid. It's almost as though everybody's coming together here today.
We are.
You're a lot away, yet you're not really. You're on the doorstep here, dear. Are you not? You're on the doorstep. So we are very happy to be there. And
thank you so much.
I feel you're very helpful to a lot of people, my dear. Both of you do a marvellous job. Well done. Well done.
Thank you so much for that, Agnes.
Wow, the whole gang is here.
Yeah, of course we are, lovey. Well, we can't come without the other, because we're in a loop, Karl. You know what I mean? We're in a loop.
So we're just having a big old party. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it all makes sense, really, doesn't it, lovey?
It
I
does.
mean, we know what we're doing. You know what you're doing. So what does it leave, really? It means that everybody's doing their job, don't it?
It
I
does.
You're a
have
very sweet lady. I like you.
Thank
Ag-
you.
Agnes and Nick. I have a question. Why is it that you choose Linda in particular to speak through? I mean, does that even matter? I mean, she was just ready for it?
Well, Linda has been part of our team here for many centuries, lovey. So
Mm,
we've worked together on many levels before,
I
and
see.
I've worked with her before as we were married once. That's why I call her my missus. And sometimes the men get a bit jealous, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, ain't it? Yeah. So we do work together and have done. So that's why we're all used to one another, but there's others that come in that
Mm-hmm.
are different to us because they're on a different level. So we have to get used to their vibration, don't we? As
Yeah.
you do. When you work, you both work very hard and I feel you get a lot of energy coming in that
Mm-hmm.
helps you at times. Other times you think, where's it gone? But it
Yeah.
hasn't gone anywhere, really, is it? It's just you becoming another frequency.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's Violet. Hello.
Oh, hey,
Hello there.
Violet.
Well, hello. It's rather a nice thing here. Do you feel as though you're making sense of this, my dear? You know fully well
Absolutely.
I know you do. What's going on here? Because you're part of it all, aren't you?
We are indeed. We are indeed. So how are you, Violet?
Well, I'm quite splendid, really, dear. I feel as though I've been making a lot of sense of things of late on the earth because
Mm-hmm.
I left the earth quite a long time ago and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know much about what was on the other side, you see.
Yeah.
But now I do.
Fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
what a nice
So do you
conversation.
feel as if, Jen, do you feel
Yeah.
as if you're making sense of your, uh, I say lesser active energies when you go to sleep at night? Are you making sense of it a lot more now, lovey?
I think
In
I'm
the way that you know
I think
things
I'm
are different.
getting there. I think I'm getting there. I think it's taking some time, but I think I'm well on my way.
Yeah, because things
But
are different to what they were, aren't they? A few years ago, you wouldn't have been doing this. You would have thought, well, what, how, where, wouldn't you?
yeah,
But look at
absolutely.
you now.
Me
Look at you
too.
now, lovey. Yeah,
Him
you
too.
too, lovely. Hello, Carl. You're still there, lovely. Where are you hanging out then, matey?
In the
I'm just.
cosmos.
Where are you hanging out?
Where am I hanging out? Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Okay.
Yes, lovely.
Well, on Earth, I'm in the United States, in the state of Ohio. But since I've changed frequencies, I guess I'm at home here in the cosmos.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good answer, that. You're very clued up, ain't you?
He's
You're
also a
very
bit of
clued
a
up.
larrikin.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice to have a mixture, ain't it, lovey?
It is.
It's good to have a mixture,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You know,
Because see,
Jen, I feel like we're being interviewed. This is
This
great.
is so cool.
so sorry, lovey. Ever so sorry about that.
No,
Not
we
really,
love
but
it.
I like talking. You like talking, Jen, don't you?
Yeah, yeah,
We
just
like
ask
talking.
any of my friends, yeah.
It's good, and we do appreciate this because it's good for Linda as well, and it's
Yeah,
good for everyone, really. Because you all need to get yourselves out there now more, don't you?
we do. We
You
do.
do.
And
It's time.
that's what we're trying to do. I've always said that, it's about us working together and us being able to get the message out to people. And I believe that working as a team, as you know, as the spirit team, is going to get that out in much quicker and on a greater level of consciousness. So that's what we're trying to do out there.
Yeah, well done. It's all
Lin-
good. We're very privileged, aren't we? Yes,
We're
lovey.
very
Carl,
privileged.
sorry.
Linda, I've read that you also have some historical figures come through to you. I mean, there's some favorites you have that like to come through you.
There was Carl. Do have rather. So Winston Churchill's one also of late that's come through. Florence
Nice.
Nightingale is always around, but she used to come through more because I think she was helping out with the preparation for the intimacy of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Lord George is another one. There's many. I mean, I don't take a lot of notice of it
Yeah.
because it's just, isn't it? It's just a name. But there's been several people who have done and do.
So,
join. Also, Phil Silvers is another one. Sorry, Phil Silvers. He
Oh,
enjoys popping in.
Phil,
Yes.
Wow.
the actor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah,
I
he
used
pops in very often. He's very happy with it and likes to do his bit to help out as well. You know.
I used to watch his TV show.
Did you? Did you?
Yeah, way back in the last century. So
I have to say, I think I'm a little bit too young, but still,
Oh,
I appreciate it.
yes.
I have a question. So if Winston Churchill is coming through now, he's kind of a pistol when he was, in his prime as prime minister in England, but so he goes to a different level after his body leaves, and he didn't have to be an enlightened master to go and become part of your team. That's not a requirement? Is it just a natural progression for him to go there?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. Yeah, but he was very much, I feel, involved with so-called, I don't like that word, spiritualism, because it doesn't really mean anything, does it? We're all spirits in a physical body, and that's what it is. But he was very much involved, and I think he used to go to mediums also at that time. And I believe he was very, what they call, psychic himself.
No, okay.
So he was interested in it, and he's evolving. But I think it's maybe of late, because of all what's gone on with the government, maybe he's drawn closer for that reason as well.
Yeah. So how many in your particular team, and as your team actually just told us, you've always got new ones that are constantly coming through you. But how many of the regulars are in your team at the moment?
How many regulars? Well, Agnes and Violet and Nick are in what they call a loop.
Yes.
And they talk together, and there's Whitecloud also that comes in a lot. There's other ladies as well. It's hard to say how many. It's impossible, because when we do the hands-on healing work with the trance, it's a different group of people.
Yeah.
They are more, I think it's on the website, the Cantonese genetics man, who was he
so
deals
depending
on
what you're healing, or
yes,
what you're trying to help with, then
yes,
different spirits will actually come through to help.
come in. There's several of them there. There's a team of them that
Nice.
work with me with that different team altogether again. So it's hard to really say. There's a shaman I know there as well. Japanese. Yeah, the Japanese. We've got the Japanese, and so it's hard to say. Sorry, it's hard to say exactly how many.
That's all good. I mean, it's quite fascinating to have your team behind you and come through like that. They're a lot of fun. Nick is very very witty and humorous for sure.
Yes,
But it's fun, and we did want to ask you too, that you have 3 elements that you work through in the moment: the fusion of oneness and inspiration. What are these 3 elements?
fusion of oneness. Oh, you mean illustrating? You mean on the outside? Do you mean?
Yes.
The elements.
So can you elaborate a little bit further on that?
I'm not entirely sure what you mean. I'm sorry.
Okay. So there were 3. Karl, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, sure. It's on Linda's website, on which you have 3 elements that you work with: the moment, fusion of oneness, and inspiration. And we were just wondering if you might be able to elaborate.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Sorry, I'm with you now on that page. Yeah. Well, the inspiration is to do with all the essence of life and what inspires us to reach out to those who are in need, and also those in the universe who are engaging with the purpose and are asking for help. That's the inspiration. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, the fusion of oneness is almost like a concept of things that join together when needed in the moment. And the moment is, in a way, just what we are within the moment, with the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we are the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that help? Sorry, I don't know if I'm giving you enough here information.
Yeah. No, totally.
No, that makes sense to me,
Yeah.
because I mean, you know,
Surely do.
teachings are that we are all one, we're all connected in the field of the divine matrix. So yeah, that makes sense. And people do need to learn that and remember it.
Oh, yes, dear. Can I say, it's Agnes again. Can
Hey,
I
Agnes.
just come in? Is that all right? I don't want to
Absolutely.
take up.
Absolutely.
Just wish to say that, you know, when you do feel as though you're making sense of something that is allowing you to free other obstacles, it's almost as though it's showing you another part of yourself, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So there are things within this, I feel, that are going to be encouraged by many of you on the earth plane in the next few years to show us all that we are doing the right energetic sort of spiritual shift, as you call it, in the way that's, because we're all working together with this, dear, aren't we?
Yes, we
Everybody's working in the same way to make it work. And all of this is almost like an inspiration and truth and honesty that works within all. And I feel it's a very beautiful thing when one can come to this conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Well,
And
I'd
I
like
think, oh, you're a nice man. I like you. I think you're very nice and generous. You like taking the ladies out to dinner, don't you?
well, yeah, of course I do. I love it.
What's that about?
I'm a wild and crazy bachelor, of course. Yeah.
It's good, isn't it? That's good. Well, maybe we'll see you one day and then we can go out to lunch. Not me, but Linda. Because you wouldn't want to see me. I wasn't very handsome, but it doesn't matter about that, does it? Hey.
Thank you. I would like to talk more about the healing that you guys do, specifically the enhanced eye contact that you do with clients. How does that work, and what is it exactly?
Can I answer that? Is that all right for me to answer that, Debbie? And not Linda? Yes? Yeah.
You sure?
It
Absolutely.
is a form of an essence of energy that works within the elements of the atmospheres, and it draws close to the physical, and it opens up that part of the physical's journey, and it works with that. So when Linda is, say, sitting there with somebody, their eyes are closed, hers are open, and she can see all that's going on within them and around them, and it coordinates with the essence of all things that need to be changed or assessed or brought forward or taken away.
Wow.
Yes?
Mm.
That's what goes on there. So it's almost like an ability to transform your whole earth link as well as your etheric link, and then it suddenly broadens your outlook on other levels, so you can work in the physical and help yourself and also help others. So it's almost like a whole universal commitment to what you are and what we are.
Wow.
So with enhanced eye contact, so I mean, this may be a silly analogy. It's almost like her Aunt Linda's eyes become portals of energy, healing energy.
Yeah, that's right. They do love it. You got to see it to believe it, love.
Mm.
You know. No, you know what I mean. I'm not being sounding cocky about it, but it's a marvelous thing we've got here with Linda, because she's transformed her energies over the centuries, and it's brought her into a different space with herself, and it shows everyone else at times that maybe she's quite in not new. Well, I say unique because she is unique in the sense of the word. You're all unique, but it makes it almost like sounds as if we're talking as though we know more than everyone else, but we don't. Everyone knows this. But what I want to say, lovey, is there's a part of her that does her job in the way she does, because she's always recognised the truth within the soul of everybody. And it's like when people like yourselves, you are absolute sweethearts, and you know you do your job well, and you're going to go on to do so many wonderful things. And it's like when you've got that ability there and the love and the growth there, you know you can't take that away, don't you, Jen?
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
there's a feeling there, ain't there, Carl, that you know you've become something maybe that is offbeat in a way, if you like, to what everyone else thinks it is. Because when Linda grew up, people thought, well, she's walking the wrong pathway. Because she was different to everyone else, they thought she was a bit off her head. But she's always off her head with love, you know. It's funny, ain't it?
They tell you to come down to earth, and we say, no, we're quite happy where we are. So
that's right, lovely. That's right. Absolutely right, isn't it? Yeah. So it's all good. It's all good, and it's all what people are around and can do if they wish to witness that within themselves. You know, can I just say something? I don't want to take up all the time, but I feel as if when people feel as though they can't do something in that way, it's like they're telling themselves, no, I'm not being who I am. So they're blocking it. If only people could really fulfill that wonderful ability they've got, then there'll be so much more done, wouldn't there, Jen?
Oh, absolutely. But how can people that, you know, we're so blessed because we have this knowing, we have this truth, we recognize it. But what about people that are still sort of like stuck and they don't recognize this? They don't have that trust that, you know, we do have our spirit guides that are working for us and or working with us. How can we help them to recognize that?
Oh, well, dear, what I always say is, you see, is that when you see somebody who is engaging in a different program, all you've got to think is if they don't switch over, that's up to them. So really, at the end of the day, you can only do your best.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, we're all on different levels, different frequencies. We go at our own pace. And some people are ready for it and some people aren't. And so I guess just live by example, really. And then if people are wanting to come into that frequency, then they're more than welcome to.
Absolutely, love. That's all you can do, because they're where they are, you're where you are. And if they want to, and if they're ready to, or if maybe if they're not, it's because they've got to be who they are to help you to see. You don't want to be that, isn't it?
And that's the thing, and that's happened to me. Well, it's happened to everybody, but it's happened to me multiple times where something horrible that's happened in my life or something that's a bit difficult has always been a learning lesson for me. It's always been something to open my eyes to who I am. And so I think that once we recognize that everybody's on their own journey, and everybody's got their own karma and own lessons and stuff that they're having to go through, I think it makes it a lot easier for us to not judge and for us to just recognize the place that they're at. So absolutely.
It's a difficult one, mate, isn't it? Because
it is.
You want to help, but you know you can't do, and you know.
Well.
And all say with love. I wish to say I come with love. I come to you today to give you the wisdom, my dear. God bless you. Whitecloud.
Thank you, Whitecloud. Yeah. And I think that what we're trying to what's the problem at the moment is that the world's got so much fear in it. Because we're at a place of change at the moment. And I think it's really helping us to open our consciousness and to start to trust more in the divine and more within ourselves.
That's what it's about, isn't it, Jen? Yeah, absolutely. It's important to feel that, and also to suggest it to others, but they don't all see it because maybe they're not meant to. Maybe their life force isn't here to do that. But it's hard when you really can see somebody could get so much out of it and be something not, you know, really progress. I think we learn that over the years, don't we, Karl, as well, and Jen, that we learn it, don't we, that we can't do the impossible.
No, and we can only help those. No, we can only help those that are ready to be helped. And like I just said, just recognize that we're on our own path. We're on our own journey, and that if it's not in this lifetime, then it'll be in the next, or you know, sometime down the track. So we're just very blessed, aren't we, Karl, that we're in recognition of this right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You know, this is amazing. I love that your team is coming through like this, and I have a deep interest in healing, and I'd like to find out more what the team thinks. Why does illness manifest in the human body? And when you do heal, how do you heal it? Is there a particular healing energy you utilize?
Yes, lovey. Can I say that I feel as though there are things that come into the bodily functions when you sort of enter the embryo in the womb, when you enter. And those things sometimes, oh yes, and those things sometimes, we'll all speak here, those things sometimes come into a different element, and then they suddenly change tact and become a little bit more, let's say, a little bit more of an uncertainty. That grows into a different aspect, then makes the organs sort of react. And that's why we get those problems within the bodily functions because of this. Yes, does that?
Yes. So how may we is it about us altering our frequency in order to prevent ourselves from this happening, or what can we do?
Oh yes, sir. It's about to say really just trying very hard to accept one's own abilities, trying very hard to understand a little more maybe about life's force of energy. So being with people helps so much, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
being
does.
around people, exercising your opinion, letting yourself be, that is where this all comes in. If one can be themselves, if one can accept there is something there that is a unique process, then that would help. But people often shut themselves away, don't they?
And
And they feel as though they don't need that. They do the opposite to what they should be doing.
Exactly. Yes. And especially when people are feeling certain emotions like guilt or shame or those sort of emotions, and they're not speaking out, they're not being their true authentic self, then these illnesses can start to manifest.
Oh yes, they do manifest. Then they become even more of a negative form, and it draws other people who are similar. So you all end up in this sort of place where you shouldn't be.
Yeah, we've all seen people that you start off with one and they're in a negative loop, and then all of a sudden you've got about 10 of them, 10 people that are all trying to outdo each other. So I think that
drives you up the wall, love, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
I'm having a laugh because you have to make a joke of it.
You do.
We're very serious when you need to be, believe it or not, and I like singing sometimes.
Do you? Lovely. What do you like singing?
Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself
part of the family.
We're sitting here on the phone, but at times we have to wake up and say we're here today. So I'm sitting here and being with Jen and Karl, and they are lovely people too. And I'll say to you, just remember everything that you do is so splendid. We always look and view you. So God bless you.
I like that song.
I feel like I'm in a pub in London with a couple pints.
That's it. It's good, isn't it?
That is good.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. But you are very, I think, sorry, lovey.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say that we did say at the start of the interview that we're going to have lots of fun, and we certainly are.
Don't we, love? We certainly have, and we appreciate it. And thank you so much.
And thank you so much.
Well, you know what you said about when a lot of the illnesses come when we are in the embryo. My understanding is that we actually, before we come into a lifetime, we decide what is going to be our journey.
The soul contract.
Yeah. So a lot of people come in already deciding that they're going to have a particular illness or disability, whatever, and then they wake up within this realm of forgetfulness and they go, "What the hell did I sign up for?"
Yeah. Well, yes, there's a part of that, lovey, that's true, but a lot of it is almost like the focus on what you magnify when you enter the womb.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So that's where that comes in. So it is that sort of decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a difference in that. There's a lot to talk about, ain't there? There's so much that one can say. One can actually approach. It's wonderful, isn't it? It's so stimulating, ain't it?
Well, you know,
but there are things. Sorry, lovey.
I'm sorry. I have a specific personal question. So my mother, Ann Gasnick, was born in 1920, and she came into the world with only one good finger, and her other 9 fingers were nubs and had no toes, and they were nubs, and one leg, she really had no hip sockets. Why did she choose to come in that way?
Well, in a sense, you see, she'd chosen that in one area only to be part of a system that would maybe recognise when she did enter the womb with that she could actually maybe change it if she could. Yeah. And that's where that comes in. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's I think too, when we do have our soul contract, you know, as I've said, we're all on a journey. We're all on learning different lessons as we go through life, and maybe your mother being born like that was an opportunity to learn a particular you know, whether it's trust or non-judgment or whatever she's learning from that particular, by going through that experience. And, you know, I mean, my brother's the same. He, you know, he's had something like 30 operations on his leg before he was the age of 8. And so he had a stump and that as well. So I think that we all have lessons that we're learning as we go through life.
And it's also, you see, with that, if one thinks of the physical, Carl, in the sense of it being a physical, then we only see the physical. But there's many aspects to it. And there's other dimensions that work with the physical as well when you enter the womb. So that changes the aspect of what you actually are receiving when you come into the birth canal. That's a different thing again. There's a lot more to this. So you receive a different measure of inspiration then, and then it carries forward into the world, and that changes things for you. So there's loads of things here that are demonstrated to you, even though one could say that is something that is recognized as being something that is really awful. And yes, of course it is, but there's other ways of looking at it. There's other ways of also suppressing it as well, believe it or not, but we haven't got time to talk about that in full, so I'll have to zip it, won't I can't say all, otherwise I'm going to take all your time. But there's lots
thank you very much for that, though. Go, Carl.
Well, I will say that perhaps my mother, one of her purposes was I gained perseverance from her, because she went on to raise 2 rambunctious boys. She played piano, she knit beautiful sweaters, she was driving, she was only 5 foot tall, but she had all these, and if somebody had said to me, oh, your mom's disabled, I would have gone, what?
Really?
What are you talking about? So that type of thing.
Exactly that. It's very interesting, but she's all right anyway. She's got all that back now and more, but she doesn't come in very much anyway, does she, Carl?
By coming in, you mean to visit
coming
me?
Into your dimension? Does she come into your dimension very much? Because I don't think she does. I think she's moved on in such a way that she's sort of outgrown it. That's how I see it.
Well, good. I'm glad for that.
She's probably up partying right now.
She's very clever lady. She was very clever lady. Very clever lady. Always was, always will be. Yeah. Do you play footsie with somebody, Carl? Do you?
I'm sorry. What's that?
Do you play footsie with somebody, lovey?
No, maybe my cat.
Yeah, his cat. I was just going to say his cat. Yes.
Cat. That's right. Yeah. Little princess, the cat.
Yeah. Well, actually, her name is Maya Diva, so she's a real diva, not a princess.
A princess, yeah, but you've got so much love to give to her, and she does to you, and that just shows you a lot, doesn't it? Because everything's about the communication, isn't it, Carl? In everything, isn't it, in life?
Yeah. Well, this is amazing. We were talking to Linda Green in Sussex, England, and her whole team with her, Nick and Agnes and Violet and Whitecloud. And Whitecloud's the first Indian chief I've ever heard with an English accent. I like it.
That's cool.
No, what happened was he can't be himself fully because we're using technology, and it hinders. It hinders it.
Yes.
Linda doesn't not like doing this, but she prefers face to face.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work. It works differently. Yeah. He's stronger when he talks to you one to one.
Well, I'll have to come and see you one day, Linda, and then I'll be able to experience that communication full on.
That'd be lovely. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, that would be. Well, Linda, we have had an absolute blast here, and we've really thoroughly enjoyed it, and we've enjoyed meeting all of your spirit team. They've been an absolute laugh. I've just loved it, and they've brought with it so much valuable insight and so much valuable knowledge. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Clap. Okay. Well, Superconscious Success fam, thanks very much for joining us. Now, before we do go though, Linda, how can people get in touch with you if they're wanting to have your healing sessions or connect with any of your spirit team? How may they come in contact with you?
Well, either by phone,
Mm-hmm.
which I've got that on my website. I have got a website.
Yes, and all of that will be in the show notes. So you can just go to the show notes. You'll get all of Linda's information.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Or email people or email, whatever. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you do face-to-face sessions at the moment?
Yes, I do. And groups and
groups as
yeah.
well. Fantastic. Okay, well, I'll put all of that on the show notes. Karl, is there anything else that you would like to say before we let Linda go?
Well, just that we did have fun, and thank you. It was a blast. Thank you for the insight into both Jen and myself personally. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to have met you. Thank you. God bless
you too, Linda. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah,
have a good night.
Bye-bye.
See ya.